I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop. I've got a card scraper, and yes, we're going to have another card scraper video. I know everyone out there has their own method on how do you sharpen a card scraper, and it's really something that you just got to find a way that works well for you. How fast do you want to do it? How fine do you want the burr on your card scraper? And I'm going to show you the way that I do it. And this is something that I've developed in my specific method, and so this isn't a definitive thing on the way to do a card scraper. It is really about how I sharpen a card scraper. And then I'm going to show you how to sharpen a curved card scraper. So what do you actually do on these? So come along, let's take a look. Now, I'm going to assume that your card has a bad edge on it. It's not quite true. It's not exactly what you want to do, and we want to just start from new. Or maybe you just purchased the card and you want to give it a nice clean edge. And first thing we're going to do is grab a Sharpie and run down the edge and just put a mark on it so that we know what needs to be cleaned up. Then I'm going to set a file out on the bench and run the card along it. And I'm going to go until that Sharpie disappears. And that is actually one more pass. There we go, nice and clean. I've got a smooth edge from one end to the other. Now, a lot of people actually clamp this in the vise and then run the file along it, or you can even get a jig to hold the file so you get nice and 90 degrees. A lot of people get really bent out of the shape of making sure that this very edge is 90 degrees to the two sides of the plate. Honestly, I've never had any problem with that. I just set it down and I go towards the handle, 2 or 3 swipes, and it's done and smooth and ready to go. Now, when working with just that, you actually have a bit of a burr on the edge. And if I'm just doing quick and dirty work and I just want to take out some tear out or something like that, that's all I need. And then I can just start using it. And I can bend it with my thumbs here, push away from me, and get nice curl. Just like that. And most of the time, that's all I need to do, and I can quickly just 1-2 swipes and then go back to town and I got a sharp edge again. It is fast, it's dirty, it's easy. These shavings tend to be a little bit thicker, a little bit rougher, because this isn't a very smooth surface. So let me show you how I take it to the next step if I want a really nice, clean edge. What I want to do is take off the burr that I just created with the file. And so I'll set this on here, and I'll just like that. That burr is gone. That burr is gone. And then just with my finest stone. And if you have a regular stone, it works fine too. The diamond stones are just a little bit faster. And now I have a dead-on 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree edge with no burr, and it's ready to start turning a really nice sharp burr. For turning the burr, I use a burnisher. I don't like using screwdrivers or other things like that because you don't know how hard the steel is. I know that this burnisher, this is a very, very hard steel. If you have a file with a safe edge, in other words, it doesn't have the filing marks on the side, you can actually use the side of the file. But a burnisher is fairly cheap and easy, and I like this one because it has the tapered end. It's just a good shape to it. So I will set the card up here, and I'm just going to take a couple passes right along it. Just like 5 passes, and I can feel the hair of a slightest burr all the way along the edge on both sides. And then I'm going to take it, rather than being at 90 degrees to the card, I'm going to tip it about 5 degrees, and I'm going to pull it across the card while going down the card. So I can actually go. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure, I'm just putting a little bit. 3 passes. That side's good. Turn the card over. One more pass. And I'm feeling until I get that burr. Once you've done it a couple times, you'll be able to feel it. But then once you have that burr, Now this burr is a lot finer and I'm getting thinner shavings and I'm getting a lot smoother surface on here too. A lot of people have an issue with finding what angle to put the card at, and usually what I say is put it at about 45 degrees and then slowly bend it back until you feel it catch, and that's the point you hold it. So once you find out where that burr is, because here it's not cutting, it's not cutting, it's not cutting, it's not cutting. Ooh, there we go. Getting these nice clean shavings. Now I've already worn out, well, I got a little bit more burr here in the middle. I can move over to the side a little bit and work on this edge, or I can flip the card over and use the burr on the other side. And there you go. That's a card scraper. And it ends you with a really nice surface. Gives you a lot of opportunities and possibilities for not having to sand. So the other question that people then have is, that's a rectangular card scraper, a nice straight edge that's pretty easy to work with. What do you do if you have a curved card scraper? Now I recently made one of these in another video, and if you want to see how to make one yourself, you can click on the link and go take a look at that video. They're really quick and easy to make, and in all honesty they scare a lot of people about how do you actually sharpen this thing, because it's round. Well, the honest answer is you sharpen it the exact same way you sharpen this. Now, you don't have to sharpen this whole thing. You only have to sharpen the area that you need to use. And so, just like before, I'll put the card scraper out here, and I'm going to sharpen this area of it. Oops, let's go this way. I'm just going until I feel I have a bit of a burr. And then I can, just like before, holding it the same way, I can make my curl. Now, if I'm writing something that has that profile, then I'm going to have a profiled curve. And just like before, if I want something a little bit finer, I will grab my stones, flatten out the side, flatten out the side, even it over, grab the burnisher, a little bit more, nice. Nice. Here, let's do that again. And you can get curls the exact same way. People really get bent out of shape about using the burnisher right, and it really doesn't take that much work. I don't even clamp these in the vise and then use the burnisher on it. Just slide the burnisher over it. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. It doesn't take a lot of force. Just takes a few passes and then draw it out at an angle. Flip it over, draw it out at an angle. I find on these smaller ones it just takes a few more passes than normal and you've got a sharp edge. Now, if I'm really wanting a fine, sharp edge with this, I can probably sharpen it with just the burnisher 3 or 4 times. So if I work that burr loose, then I'll come back in with the burnisher and sharpen it up again 3 or 4 times, and then I have to go back and clean it up again with the file before bringing it back to the burnisher. A very quick, simple process, and you can make your own curls with just an old saw plate. So I hope you like that. It was a kind of a fun video for me. Got a lot of interesting ideas on it, and they're really something that I think people overthink and try to make complicated when they're not. If you like the video, please hit like or subscribe. Think about leaving me a comment if you have any questions or ideas of what I could do better. And you might want to check out one of my other videos. You might find something you like there. And until next time, have a wonderful day.